Welcome to Quick Bite, your fast and friendly Florida insurance update.
Hello. My name is Roshonda, agency owner of the Isom Insurance Group, right here in the Sunshine State of Florida. Back again with another Quick Bite episode, your fast and informative insurance industry update. This video will air on Monday, September 29th, 2025. However, I am recording this video on Sunday, September 28th. So all of the information that will be presented in this video is as of Sunday, September 28th. And we've got an urgent news bulletin to discuss. Binding restrictions are already going into effect across Florida as we watch Hurricane Humberto and Tropical Storm Imelda develop. So what does that mean for you, your coverage, and even real estate closings? Let's dive in. Let's start with what's making headlines. According to Yahoo News, Humberto has strengthened into a Category 3 hurricane with winds of about 120 miles per hour, while Imelda is developing in the Atlantic with the potential to intensify quickly. The scary part, carriers aren't waiting. Binding restrictions are already rolling in. I've already started receiving emails from carriers. And here's a stat for perspective. After Hurricane Ian in 2022, over 60 Florida counties at once halted thousands of new policies for weeks. That's how fast regulators act when they see this kind of forecast. Now, let's take a look at what the models are showing. Here are the latest models in the forecast track. Notice how for Imelda, it is showing that it may stay off course, offshore of Florida, but they do expect for Florida to still feel some of the effects, like the outer bands of the system. So that's why a lot of regulators are a lot of carriers are not taking any chances because, again, it's still so far off before making landfall that this model can change at any time. But the good thing is that it's still showing that it is not really projected to hit any type of landfall. But again, the east coast of Florida is still expected to feel kind of some effects from it. So that's why a lot of a lot of carriers are starting to go ahead and put in effect some binding restrictions. So I've been using the word binding restrictions. So what exactly does that mean? Think of it as a freeze button. That means no new homeowners or flood policies can be written, no increasing coverage or lowering deductibles, and sometimes even auto policies can get paused in storm-prone counties. Here's an example. During Ian, citizens and progressives stopped binding new business days before landfall. Even if you called your agent the night before, even with money in hand, there was nothing they could do. And it's all about fairness, right? If people could buy last minute coverage, premiums everywhere would skyrocket. They're only buying coverage with, putting in the premium at the last minute. And then if they do have a claim that comes out of it, now they're taking from the pool of all the policyholders that have had their policies for years. And that's not fair. So how does this look today with Tropical Storm Imelda? As of this morning, carriers are moving quickly. Citizens Property Insurance, which covers over 1.2 million Floridians, has already stopped new business and projected impacted zones. I received an email this morning. We are under binding restrictions. I cannot make any changes to any citizens policies actually, it started yesterday. I got the email Saturday. Travelers and Progressive have issued restrictions for coastal counties. Expect to see tropical storm force winds within 72 hours. Even auto carriers like Mercury are monitoring may restrict binding in flood-prone areas. And remember, Once a restriction goes into place, it typically stays until 48 to 72 hours after a storm clears. That means if you didn't act before now, you may be locked out until mid-October. So it's very important if you're ever shopping your coverages or you're thinking about making any changes to your policy, don't delay. I know sometimes people are like, I'll just wait till my renewal. But if you renew or something happens during hurricane season and you renew during that time, and if there's a system that's about to hit, we will be under these binding restrictions and we cannot make any changes. And I stress that to customers as well as prospects all the time. I understand you want to kind of wait, you may want to delay, but delaying could cost you hundreds of dollars in switching or even not having the coverage that you need. So, why does this matter to you? These restrictions ripple through everyday life. Here's how. Real estate closings. Mortgage lenders won't fund without proof of insurance. After Ian, deals in Florida were delayed for weeks. Again, all due to binding restrictions because we can't write a new policy if the carrier's not accepting new business. Uninsured risk. If you thought you could grab flood insurance today, you can't. Remember, the National Flood Insurance Program has a 30-day waiting period, and private carriers cut off binding as soon as a storm threatens. So the National Flood Insurance Program, they don't usually have binding restrictions, but the problem is they have a standard 30-day wait period. So if you call today, your policy won't be in effect for 30 days out. So if you're thinking you can get that flood policy right now when the threat of Imelda is about to hit, you're sadly mistaken, because even if you called me today, that policy won't be effective until 30 days out. Local economy restrictions mean agents, lenders, and home buyers are hit with pause, creating a backlog that can take weeks to unwind. In short, if you don't already have a policy, you're sitting on the sidelines through storm season. So don't wait. This storm is coming. We're under binding restrictions with some carriers right now. Storm season ends the end of November, but if you don't have insurance, I stress still calling, still getting that quote, and still looking to get coverage in place. Looking ahead, the latest forecast shows Humberto continue to strengthen out in the Gulf, while Imelda could rapidly intensify just off the East Coast. If both storms hold their strength, restrictions may expand across Florida and even into Georgia and Alabama. I also seen that the Carolinas have issued declared a state of emergency as well. When two strong systems are in the same region, they can actually influence each other's paths, almost like they're tugging or spinning around each other. That can make the track harder to predict and cause sudden shifts in direction and intensity. Right now, most models show Humberto and Imelda staying far enough apart that we won't see a dramatic interaction, but it's a reminder that things can change quickly. So what should you do and expect? Time frame. Over the next 48 to 72 hours, forecasts should clarify Imelda's track. Expect updated cones, possible tropical storm, or hurricane watches for portions of the southeast. Areas most at risk, like coastal Florida, East Coast, Southwest Georgia, and the Carolinas, those are zones most vulnerable to heavy rain, storm surges, and flooding if Imelda comes close. Secondary impacts. Even if Imelda stays offshore, storm surges, high tides, rip currents, and coastal flooding are likely. Prepare for rough seas and dangerous surf. If the storm strengthens, as models suggest, we could see evacuation orders, road closures, emergency declarations, or curfews implemented in vulnerable counties. Recheck. Right now is the time. Recheck your homeowners and flood insurance. Know what's covered and what isn't. Secure outdoor items such as furniture, grills, decor that wind can carry. Fill vehicles, stock essential supplies, water, meds, and batteries. This fill vehicles one is a very imperative one because usually we see in Florida all the time, the lines for gas start getting really long. Some gas stations don't have gas. So this is the time where I would go with the old adage that my parents always taught me: keep your tank, at least if it's half tank, always fill it up. Don't let it go below a half a tank, especially right now when there's a threat of a storm hitting. Know your evacuation route and plan where you'll go. Move valuables and important documents to higher ground or safer locations, and monitor official sources. And that wraps up today's quick bite. Hot off the presses, binding restrictions already rolling out ahead of Humberto and Imelda. If this update was helpful, give it a like, share with a neighbor, and subscribe so you never miss a beat. New episodes drop Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. sharp. And before I go, here's the important part. This video is for informational purposes only. Coverages, availability vary by state. Always consult with your licensed insurance professional about your specific situation. Until next time, stay safe, stay covered, and as always, keep watching those skies.
Thank you for watching. Visit us at IsomInsuranceGroup.com.